What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back, speaking my sports talk. All right, check it out. Yordenis Ugas is next for Terence Crawford. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. All right, y'all, check it out, man. What's up, everybody? Speaking my sports talk live daily. Gonna drop the link in the chat right after I get some shout outs. Johnny Boy Boxing. Hey, Johnny Boy, yesterday, man, on that Black Lives Matter live, bro, we went like 5 hours and everything. But you dropped the $10 super chat, and just so now that you're on, I appreciate you, Johnny Boy, for the $10 super chat. I don't remember what the comment was, but just wanted to acknowledge you for that, bro. But we were going on and on and on, and you dropped that thing, and we were going on, and I didn't get a chance to thank you for doing that. So appreciate that, Johnny Boy. But he said it's not anything set. Yeah, no, not yet. It's not set, but that's what we're going to talk about. Muay Thai in the building says all lives matter. Yeah, I remember you, Muay Thai. That's what's up, bro. IBT said, I've been waiting to catch one of your lives while it's happening. Salute, DJ. Oh, all right. I'm getting ready to drop the link in the chat, IBT. So since you're here early, hell, you might want to come up here for today's discussion. As y'all guys know, 4 on the chat during Speaking My Sport. 4 on the panel during Speaking My Sports Talk live daily. Put this link in the chat right quick. All right. Hold on. I really should start doing that before we start. But as usual, I'm always running around. All right, Virtuoso in the building. Well, it's not set in stone yet. But we're gonna talk about this and everything that's been going on with Crawford, Virtuoso, Bob Arum coming out, giving a list of names, and all of it's relevant. So nothing set in stone. I do think that this could very well be his next fight, though. I will say that. If this is true, then the story must have broke an argument for it's not. Again, it's not set in stone yet. So you got that from us. All right. Yeah, it could very well happen, and that's what the discussion is going to be. So, Virtuoso, IBT, anybody else that want to come on the panel today, I'm gonna get into some things. There are some things that I do know about Bob Arum and this, that, and the third. That's what we're talking about, guys. So, very interesting topic. Toby Bartlett in the building. What's good with you, my man? Respect D. Respect to you, Mr. Spooks. Appreciate you coming through, my man. Get this smoke in the house. What's up? Get this smoke. My brother Lewis Sports Network, my basketball compadre partner in crime. Lewis, it's almost here, bro. We're a week away, Lewis. Lewis indeed. Look, for all the basketball fans, the NBA is going to be back. So y'all keep it up. Keep a lookout. Basketball Live with Lewis and D. We back in action, baby. We're gonna have games to do commentary for and all of that kind of stuff. So just watch out. We're going to be back, Lewis. Chin Smoke in the building. What's good, Chin Smoke? Prime Fighting Champions. What's up, brother, man? Appreciate you coming through. Billy Robles. What's up, Billy Robles? Samuel Wild Shaw. What's good, Samuel? The Vocal Cords Jefferson. Yeah, I got to drop some more vocals for you, Samuel. What up, Tommy Temple? Willie Boy Slip and Move in the building. What's good with you? All right, guys, so let's get this thing started. Jed Kyle, Scott Brown. All right, guys. So Terence Crawford. So first and foremost is this, guys. Bob Arum, and y'all know I always give Bob Arum all kind of heat, and I won't stop because Bob Arum is always on some bullshit. But Bob Arum came out. He said, Terence Crawford looking to fight Manny Pacquiao. And if he doesn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, then here's a list of names for you. Okay, bullshit. That's what I say about Bob Arum. I call bullshit. But it's promotion. This is what Bob Arum does. So he gives you a fight that 9 times out of 10 is not going to happen anytime soon, which even when he started talking about Manny Pacquiao, I knew that that fight wouldn't happen anytime soon because Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn are in the media mentioning fights that they end with a certain phrase, as soon as the fans come back, or, when the fans come back, or we're going to make this happen, considering what time they have the fans come back. Well, this was the same thing with the Manny Pacquiao fight. And Bob Arum mentioned, this is a fight that, probably won't happen unless the fans are there. Well, that fight's not happening in 2020, that's for sure, because the fans are not going to be back in 2020. I doubt that very seriously. And so we look at some of the other opponents and how difficult it would or impossible it would be to make those fights. And I mean the other opponents on that list he gave. This leaves Yordenis Ugas. See, that's how I'm mapping it out. This leaves Yordenis Ugas. And we're going to talk about this whole situation. We're going to talk about why Bob Arum even came out with the Pacquiao fight, because I think a lot of this led up to us getting this Yordenis Ugas fight. Okay? We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. As soon as one of y'all click that link and come join the panel for today's discussion. Let me drop that link back in the chat. Carlos in the building. My man Arum Cone, what's good with your brethren? Yeah, so guys, that's pretty much sums it up. And this is why I'm really calling it out, guys. I'm calling it out. No, it hasn't been announced yet. It's nothing set in stone, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the next fight that we'll get between Kell Brook and Yordenis Ugas. But there's a thing with Kell Brook as well that may make this Yordenis Ugas fight a little more appetizing to Bob Arum. Now, to the sports fan, I would much rather see Terence Crawford fight Yordenis Ugas than Kell Brook anyway. I think that the Kell Brook fight, I don't think he has anything for Terence Crawford. Even if he came down to 147, he drained himself way down. Kell Brook, he hasn't looked good in his previous fights here. So I see nothing that Kell Brook has to offer to beat a Terence Crawford. That's just my opinion on that. Let me see. Arum Cone says Kell Brook has no business at 147 anymore. And I agree totally with that, Arum Cone. I agree with that totally. Because, see, look, when he went up to fight GGG and then dropped back down to fight Errol Spence, he ain't really been right since concerning his weight, bro. You can't put on all that muscle. He was already a big 147-pounder before he went up to fight GGG. So then he put on this muscle. He loosened himself up. He should have been fighting at 154 anyway. But then you drain yourself to come back down to fight Errol Spence, and you lose that fight. Well, Kell Brook coming back to 147 to fight whoever, he's going to be drained. He's going to drain himself. So, with that being said, I agree with you, Arum Cone. He got no business at 147 at all, which to me eliminates that fight. It makes it uninteresting. And another thing about the Kell Brook fight is Kell Brook still may cost Bob Arum a little penny. And we know that Bob Arum don't want to part with his dollars, right? So Kell Brook is going to cost because he has a fan base, be it as it may. He's still a draw. So that would cost Arum a little bit of money for that fight. And it ain't worth it. Because, again, there's no suspense, in my opinion, or no intrigue in that fight. Terence Crawford beats Brook. That's it. Champ Ross, I'm glad I just seen you because what's the day, man? Tuesday. I got to put my picks in. What's up, champ? Toby said Kel killed himself cutting all that weight for Spence. No, Kel killed himself going up to fight GGG. It wasn't the Spence fight, wasn't the mistake, Toby. He had to defend his belt. So he had no choice but to go back down to 147 because he had a belt and he had to defend it. His mistake was going to fight GGG in the first place, jumping 2 weight classes like that. I don't know what put in his head that he could beat a GGG, but that was the mistake. Because had he not done that, he wouldn't have got his orbital bone cracked. He wouldn't have put on all of that extra muscle, and he would have never drained himself coming back down to fight Errol Spence. You know, it's all opinionated though. I just think that was really the mistake. More over fighting Spence. Fighting Spence was necessary. I mean, it was mandated. And you know the IBF will do what? What will they do? Strip the hell out of you. So he didn't really have any choice in the Spence fight. Since the IBF, they will strip your ass, and Spence was his mandatory. So that was, you know, the mistake was going up to Brook. Had he not gone up to Brook, hell, a lot of people think he would have beat Spence because they think Spence only beat him because of the GGG fight. I mean, had he not gone up to GGG. Ralph for real in the building. Well, I read a couple of reports, Ralph, and we're going to talk to that. What's up, man? None of y'all want to talk with old D Jeff today? We got 25 people in the building. Click that link. I need some compadres on the panel. Let's get this goddamn conversation started. But Ralph, you know how I do, Ralph. I read a lot of articles, and sometimes I just put 2 and 2 together. So this is one of these putting 2 and 2 together type things. Nothing set in stone, nothing definite, but do remember that Bob Arum did give the Pacquiao fight, which I knew there was a slim chance of us getting that. I knew that Pacquiao GGG won't happen, but he also gave a list of names should the Pacquiao and Terence Crawford fight not happen. So Ugas was on that list of names. And when we look at the list of names, this is the most reasonable fight at so many levels. And as soon as IBT or Get This Smoke or somebody come here on this panel with me, we're going to talk about that and why. And I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. I'm pretty sure that it hasn't been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be Crawford's next opponent. Because Ugas, one thing about Yordenis Ugas is he wants all that. I've been saying this for over a year. All of this, Crawford can't find an opponent. Why don't he go fight Ugas? Ugas been said he'll fight Crawford. Spence, all of them. He's not ducking that smoke. And that's why I was like, Crawford talking about nobody would fight him. That's not true. It's not nobody will fight you. The Porter, the Garcia, and the Spence won't fight you. But it ain't nobody. You know, there are people that will fight you. Ugas is one, and he has been one. He's never said he wouldn't fight Crawford. Kell Brook belongs at 154 now. Stay away. Yeah, that's what I said, IVT. I agree. Ferg, how's it in the building? What's good with your Ferg? Yeah, I got you, champ. I am. Ugas is on 11-fight win streak. Oh, yeah. Minus the Porter fight. I see what you're saying, Scott, because you saying they gave him the business in that fight, Scott? They gave you guys the 52 fake out in that fight, Scott. Oh, man, I get you. My brethren, what's up? Iron Cone in the building.
What's up, D? Good afternoon, man. How you doing?
Man, always a blessing. Every day I wake up, man. How you enjoy your Father's Day? I think I sent you a message. If I didn't, I'll be belated. I don't really celebrate it or patronize it, but happy Father's Day if you have kids and such, you know?
Yeah, man. I got 2 sons. I spent my Father's Day. I went to the beach with them. And, yeah, it was all right, man.
Sweet. All right, good. So I'm glad you on this panel because now we can get this damn party started. Right. So we were talking about Kell Brook, and why that's probably not going to happen. He was, he was on the list that Bob Arum gave, but I just explained for so many reasons why the fight's not intriguing to the fans, and it'll cost Arum money. That's the thing. Like, this is not a fight that I don't think, with all the names that Arum put on the list and the potentials that Bud Crawford has, fans won't really be as excited about a Brook fight as some of these other fights we're going to talk about. Now, I do think there is a significance in the Brook fight. I'm not trying to dismiss the Brook fight with Crawford altogether, because it's a common opponent with Errol Spence, which, regardless of the time frame, the GGG, and all of this draining, it will still be a factor. What you guys think about that?
I think Kell Brook, we spoke about this before. Kell Brook is not going to be attractive, because I think he was last seen. Was his fight with Zerafa at 147, or did he attempt to make 147? Right. Well, he didn't look good in that fight. In his last fight, he looked all right. But those are against two people who are not really known. So he's going, as you said, he's going to cost some money to get, first off. And he's not going to push no tickets in the States. Right? So, I mean, what would exactly be the point of fighting Kell Brook? So I think somebody like Ugas, who arguably won the Shawn Porter fight, you could push that a little bit more, because at least he's somewhat active in the States and whatnot. Kell Brook really needs to just stay at 154. I don't know. Is he still? I know he was mandatory to one of Jarrett Hurd's belts, but is he still mandatory to that belt?
That I'm not sure at all. Smoke, you know anything about that? If he's still mandated to one of those belts?
No idea.
Yeah, I will. Don't give me the 9 iron cone. I don't know.
No, well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, at 154, okay, I get it. Fighting Terence Crawford would be the biggest money he could make right now. I get it.
Brook.
Right. Yeah, right. So I understand why Kell Brook would want to do it. Yeah, I'll drain myself down for this big money. Yeah, no problem. But as you said, we all know Bob Arum not going to pay that money for Kell Brook.
Nah,
it's not going to be worth it, because Amir Khan is a bigger name than Kell Brook over in the States anyway, and didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That didn't do shit really in terms of pay-per-views or nothing like that. So what's Kell Brook gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right. Hell yeah. That's a fact, obviously. He is too brave. Dragon legs, and I like that new logo, Dragon leg. Go ahead, Smoke. What do you think, fam?
Yeah, neither one of those fights are pay-per-view, Ugas or Brook in the States.
Well, let's take the Brook. Let's take the Brook, because we're gonna talk about you guys. We're gonna talk about a lot of guys.
Oh yeah, Brook. Brook is still a former champion at 147. So he pads his stats that way. He's fighting a former champ. And then also, I think he has a pretty good shot to stopping Kell Brook, so he can keep his 147 win, knockout streak alive. He is named. You know who he is. And he hasn't fought at 147 since 2017. I don't know. It's all right fight. I mean, Kell Brook, I would have rather see Kell Brook than Amir Khan, but we already saw Amir Khan, so I don't really care about Kell Brook.
I think, Scott Brown has an interesting comment, but we're going to get to you guys, Scott Brown. I want to cover some of these other guys, and so
hold on. Let me just interject. The question would be, would Bob Arum box Terence Crawford in the UK against Kell Brook?
Well, see, that's a little bit ahead too, because Iron Cone, I appreciate you coming through too, because this is the first time you're on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Live Daily. But I set these things up, and I got this thing set up. That's coming up. We're gonna get to you guys, but this is what I want to do, and I'll explain to everybody in the chat too. This is how we're gonna do the show today. Lawrence Williams, what's good with you, fam? So we're gonna talk about these other guys that I have on the list, that Bob Arum had on the list, and why those fights won't potentially happen. And we're ending up with you guys. This is why. So it's not anything set in stone. There's nothing written in. The fight hadn't been announced. But I think this is the fight we're going to get. Terence Crawford, Ugas next. And as we go down the line and eliminate these other guys and why I don't think, and y'all could, counter that. Maybe I could be wrong on some of those ideas, but that's why we're going to have this discussion. So Ugas is going to be last, okay? Brook, I pretty much feel like we got him out of the way. That Brook fight's not going to happen, bro. That Brook fight is not going to happen because it's just not, it's not worth it, bro. To me, it's just simply not worth it.
Yeah, but Brook is not commanding high purses. I'm not sure that it's too expensive for Bob. Especially if there's no crowds, Brook might be the guy.
Well, Brook still thinks he's got value. You might not smoke.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, we know that the zone is overpaying guys, right? So maybe he's still got some, but they're supposed that treasure chest is supposed to dry up. Supposedly has dried up. So, I mean, I don't know what Brook is getting, right? I haven't heard any reports, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
I don't know.
It is.
That's why we have these discussions, because it really, like we said yesterday, Smoke, there ain't no right and wrong. Hell, we don't know, but we got to talk about it and try to figure it out. Next guy on the list, though, Shawn Porter. And see, here's the thing with Shawn Porter. And why? What's up, Primo? I put it in the chat too, El Primo. What's up with you, fam? But here's the thing with Shawn Porter and why I don't believe that we'll get this fight next anyway, because neither of them really want to fight each other. And as long as there's an option available, and then they're not going to fight. They've already said that they're the last option for each other, the very last option for each other. So I really doubt we get a Crawford Porter. You can eliminate him out of this discussion. I don't think that that's our next fight. Do y'all disagree with that? Smoke, what you think about Crawford Porter next? Mr. Two Hands Up in the building.
I think that is too much like right? It just feels too good. Like it's too good a fight for this particular moment in time. Although there are now reports that Inside the PBC has got canceled. So that's one less check for Shawn Porter. So he may be a little bit more interested in fighting, especially since nobody's really talking about fighting him. He may be more available, but it's a fight that I think purists like us would really want to see, and the business of boxing don't give a damn about us. So I doubt very seriously that I get that fight, but that's the fight I'd want.
Right. And also, the pay-per-view, or just the price, that's going to cost Bob Arum too. That fight would cost him, and I don't think he wants to pay that money. All right, Cone, what you think, fam?
No, that fight's not going to happen, bro. These two already, as you said, already had enough talk about why the fight can't happen. And when you ever hear two fighters have pretty much in agreement that, we're not going to fight, it's a real problem. I think the Ugas fight might be attractive in a way because you can market it as Ugas arguably beat Shawn Porter, right? Bob Arum can try that angle, that cheap angle, and say this man arguably beat Shawn Porter. But the Shawn Porter fight is not going to happen because really, as I said, these two have already, as you said, these two have already agreed that we're not going to fight.
Yeah, they don't want to fight each other. I mean, and I had an issue with that. I won't lie, because unless they're brothers, I don't agree with it. If it's brothers or even like first cousins, I don't agree with it, because you guys decided to compete in this sport, like with a brother or a first cousin or something like that. Because I have some first cousins, we grew up like brothers, right? With that, I've always said you still got to have the mentality of going in that ring with your opponent that I'm seriously going to hurt this guy. I want to break this guy apart. And I don't think that I could have that emotion with my brother, you know what I mean? Or like my first cousin. So if it's that kind of situation, I understand. But when you talk about just some guys who train in the gym together, because let's keep it real, they're calling each other all these best of friends and all of that. I mean, come on, bro. Y'all trained together early on and y'all was in camp and all of that. Y'all can get in the ring and compete together. I bet you they sparred together before. You know what I mean? I bet you they sparred together before. So I don't necessarily think that those two are going to fight because the two of them are putting up too much resistance for this fight. And this is the fighters. So if the fighters are putting up that much resistance on both ends, I very seriously doubt that we get that fight with Porter and Crawford. IBT just stepped on the panel. IBT, what do you think? Porter, Crawford, next. What's the probability of that, fam?
What's up? Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, you're real clear.
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't think that fight happens at all. I don't think either fighter has shown interest in fighting each other, and I especially don't think that fight happens right now while there's no crowd or limited crowd. Shawn Porter's too expensive, right? He's coming off of a loss, but it's still a good performance. I don't really think his stock has gone down. So, no, I don't really see that fight happening, to be honest.
Yep. My sentiments exactly, good man. So,
if I can back up a little bit, I just looked at. Okay, I just looked it up. Kell Brook is ranked 7th, 8th, and 10th in 3 separate sanctioning bodies, so I doubt he's mandatory anywhere.
Is that at 154?
Yeah, 154.
Okay.
Right. And even if he was, who the fuck cares? I don't see him beating Rosario. I don't see him beating Charlo. Textera might be the best chance for him to get it. I don't see him beating Rosario or Charlo. So anyway, axe to the down. Now, the Manny Pacquiao fight, that's not gonna happen.
I thought that fight was being talked about by Bob Arum, though. Wasn't that like
it is being talked about?
What?
But let me tell you guys something. And this is why I'm saying this about the Manny Pacquiao fight. Man, there's no way in Sam hell we get that fight next. First and foremost, Bob Arum, like I said before, he said the same things that Eddie Hearn said. They announced these fights like this, but following them announcing that fight, they say, of course, when the fans get there. This fight with Manny Pacquiao, that costs way too much money. First and foremost, Manny Pacquiao is the cash cow at 147. Craig Smith, what's up with you? Ness Mendoza in the building, and Ness Mendoza in the building. What's good with you, Ness? Appreciate you coming through, Iceman. But Manny Pacquiao is going to cost handsomely. Now, Bob Arum just came out with an article yesterday or this morning talking about looking at getting that fight to happen overseas or in the Saudis because they're ready to perform the fight with fans. Listen, we ain't getting that fight in 2020. So they talking about it. It could possibly happen, but that's not going to be Crawford's next fight. And this is why I'm thinking Bob Arum used Pacquiao for fan interest. Okay, because I got sucked into it. As soon as he talked about it, I got sucked right into it, and so did a lot of other people. We started talking about the probability of the fight, who will win, blah, blah, blah. Well, this gets the interest. But what Bob Arum also did, is he said, what if this fight shouldn't happen? Then here's a list of guys that we're going to put Crawford in the ring with. And then you get this list. The Porter, the Thurman, the Brook. You understand what I'm saying? So this Pacquiao fight in Crawford was a fluke, man. It was a fluke because we all knew Pacquiao needed a fight. You know, everybody wants to know who Pacquiao's fighting next, but that fight costs too much. Costs way too much. So we ain't getting that fight next. And the question is, who does Bud Crawford fight next? And this is why I pretty much mark Pacquiao off my list. I don't think that fight's happening next. Smoke, what do you think about that, Smoke?
Let's see. What do we got? Like 4 or 5 PBC guys, but apparently Al Heyman don't exist. Cash, but we need a pay-per-view for that. You need a gate for that. 2020. I don't see it. I don't know who's supposed to pay for it. Manny going to the ESPN. Maybe, I don't know. No, I don't see it. Too many logistic headaches, and then also the fight didn't happen when he was with him. So why the hell would I think the fight's gonna happen when he's on a different network who has other options, and both of them have business constraints that they have to deal with because of COVID? Nah, don't see it.
Dr. Cat, I'm gonna start calling you Dr. Cat. I know you might not be a doctor, but I'm not talking about medical. I'm talking about right here. Dr. Cat in the building. What's up with you, sis? Yeah, I feel you. IBT, what you think about it? Pack next.
I think this is a classic Bob Arum move where you put one fight that'd be really cool, but there's no way it's gonna happen. You put another fight that's too expensive to make right now, and then you put the more likely option, which is the Kell Brook or the Ugas, and even Ugas is on the other side of the street, like I was saying earlier, quote unquote, anyways. And then Kell Brook, who knows if he can even make welterweight. So the idea that they're going to be able to pay Manny Pacquiao, who's the cash cow welterweight, with no crowd, I don't even think Manny would want to fight, much less fight Crawford with no fans.
Yeah, I agree. Wooly Boy said, I'm going to enjoy coming back here at the end of Brooks' last chance saloon run. Sleep on him at your peril, fanboys. I hear you, Wooly Boy. Wooly Boy, keep
Listen, I was 100% in Kell Brook's corner until he came with them Christmas shorts. Like at that point, nah, I'm good. Kell Brook gonna have to show me something.
Fireman in the building. What's up? Big up yourself, D. I don't see Bud getting a fight with anyone on the PBC side. You know? Good comment. Could be. Smoke was just alluding to that as well, Fireman. Could be, my man. Could be. So, let me see. As Samuel Shawn said, DJ, your Bob Arum impression sucks. yeah, I know, man. I'm not an impressionist. But your prediction league skills suck, Samuel Shaw. Stop ducking me, son. Stop ducking me, son. Get back in that prediction league. Networks might need quality programming in boxing like MMA, not a team sport. Yeah, well, that's what the zone has. But nah, boxing will be back, man. They're just going to have to adapt to a new way. They're going to have to, the money side of it, they're going to have to deal with that argument, but it'll be back. Guys going to understand that ticket sales not coming back. These guys are going to get thirsty too. So right now, everybody's playing hardball. You know what I mean? They're playing hardball. But when your pockets start getting light, when the money ain't right, then it's time to fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, dropping balls on y'all. Shawn Newton in the building. What's good? All right, let's move to the next guy on the list. The next guy on the list. Keith, once upon a time, Thurman. So, Bob Arum, welcome back, Iron Cone. Bob Arum also had Keith Thurman on the list. What's up, Shawn? What's up, Shawn? So, here's the thing. Keith Thurman is going to cost too much, and you know Keith Thurman is all about that check. He's all about that check, guys. Keith Thurman is not going to do a fight. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Cat. Keith once upon a time Thurman. He ain't going to do a fight with a Terence Crawford if it's not on pay-per-view. So that's just what I got to say about Keith Thurman. No way we get that fight next. All right, Ness. Appreciate you coming through, fam. What do you think, Iron Cone? Keith Thurman, Bud Crawford next on the menu.
Keith Thurman would do well for himself and his career if he takes that fight, because Keith Thurman, I don't know what he's hoping to get. Like he's not going to get the Pacquiao rematch. He's not going to get the Spence fight. So I'm very perplexed as to what Thurman sees for himself in the next few years, because he's no longer a champion. And people don't really have to fight him. So there's a fight over at Top Rank for him, but the fight's not going to happen. Keith, as you said, he's too expensive. Keith Thurman's a weird dude. He's kind of a diva. So I'm really curious as to what Keith Thurman has planned for himself, if not fighting for the WBO, because he's been on record on radio saying, or on interview saying, all types of reasons why he's not going to fight Terence Crawford.
Right.
But then what's the plan if you're not going to fight Terence Crawford? I mean, what is it?
Right.
So
right, and you're not getting no big check right now, Keith Thurman. You're not. So I don't know. Smoke, what you think? Keith Thurman, or matter of fact, IBT, what you think? Keith Thurman, Terence Crawford.
So I think it'd be a good fight. I actually see my main issue with these fights that are kind of going to happen, or being talked about, is I don't think they have the financial backing in this time to make the fights. So as much as I would like this fight, even if the money was right, though, I don't think Thurman would take it. I mean, there's an interview of him talking about, I want every champion. I'm trying to get the Pacquiao rematch. I want the Spence fight. I want the Crawford fight. And he's like, I'll take all those fights right now. And they go, okay, so you would take the Crawford fight if he offered you? And he goes, well, let's back it up. I need this stipulation, and I need this to be right. And I'm not a fan of the WBO. And he has all these reasons, like Iron Kong was saying, why he wouldn't take it. But you have to look at where you are. I mean, you're coming off of a loss, right? You're no longer a champion. Your name is still relevant, but to what extent are you relevant because of a win? Would you be a good win? Would Crawford even get credit for beating him? People might even say, oh, he lost to a 40-year-old Pacquiao, he's washed or whatever. When's the last time he got a good win? You can detract from him as much as you want. And as much as I like Thurman, I just don't see him signing the contract. And I just see a lot of kind of hypocrisy going to happen surrounding Keith Thurman versus Crawford. Because let's say Keith Thurman somehow does fight him and somehow does win. There's no way he's not going to be parading around every city in the United States with the WBO title. He's not going to go, oh, yeah, I guess I'm the WBO champ. No, he's going to be screaming it out off the roof of every skyscraper, right? So there's just a lot of not double talking, but he has different energy when it comes to Crawford, when it comes to just, oh, I'll fight him. And okay, you fight him? No, I won't fight him. I don't like the WBO, but I'll take the fight. Oh, so you'll fight him? No, I won't fight. It's like, okay, just get out of here, basically. I feel like he's wasting Crawford's time.
Exactly. I agree. Scott Brown says, Al would not let Thurman cross the street. He would not be old man Manny backing up with his hands down. Shawn Newton says, they're talking Thurman versus Porter too. I read that somewhere. I can't remember where, but I was reading about that too, Shawn. I don't know. That's something that could happen, but neither one of those guys, even in that fight, they shouldn't expect no kind of a check. Get this Smoke. What do you think about the Thurman and Crawford situation?
Thurman and Crawford situation is basically a guy who doesn't have a fan-friendly style in Keith Thurman and doesn't have the marketability savvy of an Adrian Broner. So when he's not in the ring, nobody gives a damn about him, because when he is in the ring, he just runs around. So, there's not much to it. Actually, Keith Thurman has a real big problem. As a matter of fact, Broner might be his best option. Come to think of it. But because I don't think anybody's checking for any of his rematches. The fights weren't fun to watch. He's just not that good. He's just not that entertaining. A human being, actually. So it's a.
Wow, you got a lot of respect for Thurman, don't you?
Nah, it's just that. The thing is, he blew it. He had a chance. He chased around Mayweather, and he had his moment. He was a unified champ, and then he just disappeared. And now he's lost. He hasn't really looked good, and nobody can remember a fight that they actually would want to see him repeat. And he doesn't have a belt. And it's just a bunch of he has a lot of work to do before he can even put the names of the champs in his mouth, because everybody has more pressing business than Keith Thurman. right? So what
Well,
he needs to talk himself way.
feel.
He needs to talk his way back to his position, because at this point he's just a former champ. Like really, he should maybe put him like Devin Haney, like all those guys who could be coming up. Like Keith Thurman is looking like food for like the next generation of 147. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, all righty then. So no fight with Crawford. I think we're unanimous there. Tank Nation in the building. Tank said his fight with Danny Garcia was closer. Could argue that. They were both close fights. So you could definitely argue that. Go ahead, Iron Cone.
I saw you put up a comment, I think, from Shawn Newton when he was saying they're talking Thurman versus Porter too. What would be the point? If there's no big check for that, wouldn't you rather just fight? If you're willing to fight Porter for not a big check, why not just fight for a belt for not a big check? What would be the point? Like, that it doesn't make sense. And I keep wondering, what exactly does Keith Thurman see for himself? If he fights Porter again, and I think he'll lose, if he loses, right, another fight like that to Porter, where does that put Keith Thurman in terms? Because if you lose for no money, you lost for no belt, what's the point? So I'm not sure what exactly is the career path.
It's a PBC thing. They're going to get some kind of money out of that fight.
Okay, sure. No problem.
So, I mean, okay, think about it. If not Porter, who else? Broner, and he'll get some kind of money out of that fight. Now the question is, which one will he get more money out of? A Broner fight or a Porter fight?
You think he will make less,
worthless.
You think he will make less money fighting Terence Crawford though?
Nah, he won't, but he's gonna demand too much money to fight Terence Crawford. That's the problem. He's like Keith Thurman, Smoke sat here and he described what he feels about Keith Thurman. Well, one thing we can't deny about Keith Thurman, the self-promotion part of him. He can sell a fight. He did a lot in selling that Manny Pacquiao fight, that mouthpiece of his. So he wants the money if he goes against Crawford. You know what kind of shit Keith Thurman gonna be talking? If he getting into a fight with Crawford, what is this guy done at 147? What is he proving? Blah, blah, blah. You can hear Keith Thurman now, bro, with the list. So I don't think that he fights a Crawford simply because he's going to demand too much money, and Bob Arum is not paying. The Texan in the building. What's up, Charles D? What's up with you? You know what I mean? That's just how I look at it. I don't know. Why everybody act like Keith is washed? He is a game dog, always come to fight. Well, it's not about what he can do in the fight. It's about him demanding the money. I think he gives Crawford a good fight. I said that on another live. It's not about that. What will it cost Bob to make this fight happen? Too much. That's the point. And Bob ain't paying.
But really, the issue is that Keith Thurman has basically fought Garcia and Porter and Pacquiao. So really all is left on his list is Spence and Crawford. And both of those guys got pressing issues. Like only Crawford can take the Thurman fight. If Spence took the Thurman fight, he already said he wasn't because he froze him out. But even if he did, I think everyone would be up in arms. I don't think that they wanted to see Garcia. You can get a pass for because people said Garcia beat Porter, right? Like some people felt Garcia had a pretty good showing. Thurman is just coming off a loss to Pacquiao. He's got to have a win. Josecito Lopez, that 2-year layoff and that Josecito Lopez performance just isn't enough to bring him back into the front of people's minds. The last half of the Pacquiao fight was good, but he now needs to build off of that because he lost that fight.
Right. What about that?
I actually have an interesting matchup I want to get you guys' take on. You said that he's basically gone through everyone, meaning he's gone through he's fought Pacquiao, he's fought Danny Garcia, he's fought Shawn Porter. The only two people left on his list are Crawford and Spence, you're saying. But what if he were to fight Ugas? Because I think for Ugas, that would be a good fight to essentially set himself up for a title fight, beating someone who's a former champion, former unified champion. And for Thurman, Ugas is a good enough win because people recognize him as a talented fighter, and he had a very close competitive fight with Shawn Porter. So do they make that fight, or do they send Ugas to Crawford and Thurman to rematch Shawn Porter?
Yeah, I would prefer the Ugas fight. I don't think anybody's checking for Shawn Porter or Thurman too. That thing was just
I don't think anybody's screaming for that fight. Chant Ross said the Porter 2 is stable past the selling point. It means nothing. Doesn't do anything, but the loser retires. PBC eliminated. Yeah, get one of these money guys out of the way. I like that. Sean Newton says Harmon knows he can resue. Oh, you talking about okay. All right, so yeah, well, that brings us back to that brings me back to Yordenis Ugas. Sergio in the building. What's good with you, Sergio? Appreciate you coming through. That brings me back to Yordenis Ugas, man. And this is why I'm saying, guys.
Hey, D, you can bring somebody else up. I'm going to bring somebody else up on the panel. I'm going to step down.
Oh, okay. I appreciate you coming through, Iron Cone.
I'm in the chat.
All right, my man.
Yeah.
So, let me put the link back in the chat. We got a space on the panel, guys. Go ahead. Yeah, we got a space on the panel. Boys, bring your ass on up here unless you're at work. Boxing fans in the building. What's good with you, fam? Brian Harkin, what's up, fam? Appreciate you. All right, so bring me back to Yordenis Ugas. And this is why I said, guys, I think this is the next fight for Crawford. Now, there's a couple of things with this. Yordenis Ugas is not going to require a pay-per-view. I guarantee you this guy's not going to get up there screaming, y'all got to give me pay-per-view, this, that, and the third. Yordenis Ugas, this might be one of his higher paydays versus Terence Crawford. If you think about it, even at a low end of what they're paying now, this may be one of his highest paydays. This fits the bill. This is a fight also that they can do behind closed doors. See?
Yeah, I think it's a really good, I think the stars line up for this fight, except for I don't know if they send Ugas over. I think Ugas would probably not be his best win at welterweight, but his most recognized win if you were to beat him. And I don't think this fight's a foregone conclusion like you were saying earlier about some other of these matchups, because Ugas actually beat Crawford in the amateurs, and I know, it's very different from then, but Ugas has a skill set and a style that wouldn't be easy for Crawford.
Yeah. It would be a very worthy fight, You got all of these people complaining, well, who is Crawford fought at 147, blah, 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 blah. If he beats Ugas, shut it up. You can stop that talk because that's a valid opponent. Definitely a valid opponent. Smoke, what do you think about what I'm saying? Like, we pretty much eliminate the other guys and why they won't be the next fight, and the fact that Bob Arum threw that Pacquiao situation up there, which I knew what he was doing when he did that, bro. But what do you think, Ugas?
Ugas needs to take a page out of the book of Andy Ruiz and call up Bob, say I'm available. Let me do that. I'm taking that low money. Fuck the whatever rematch clauses you have, lock me in on a flat rate, all of that. He needs to figure out how to get that fight. Forget waiting for anybody at PBC, any of those champs over there. Pacquiao ain't messing with no Ugas. There's no money in it. Spence is not messing with no Ugas. There's no money in it. It's I don't know about Terence Crawford. It seems like it's a high risk, low reward kind of thing. But at the same time, he's definitely a legitimate guy, and for guys who follow the sport and the purists, you can check that box. You beat me in the amateurs, but I beat you in the pros. It's a good fight. It's an entertaining, like the style matchup. I can see that it could be dry in some places. But yeah, Ugas cuts the ring off nicely without throwing his hands. So Terence Crawford should be able to dot him up and make it like some kind of interesting. But it could be, I could see it being dry in spots. And it being like, a UD kind of thing for Terence Crawford, and him not, I don't see Crawford stopping him. So that would end his 147 knockout streak. And then there's controversy about whether his power actually carried up and all that stuff would start. But,
But if Crawford was to stop him, that would be impressive. That would definitely be impressive.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that would be it. Like that. Now you're talking. Like if he stops Ugas, now the heat for that Spence fight really goes up.
Yeah.
Especially that is a way you can make that fight more attractive without fighting Pacquiao first.
Facts.
Right? Stopping Ugas.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shawn Newton says he kind of agrees. It makes more sense for Heyman. I think he meant to say Heyman to send you guys over like Andy Ruiz. Yep, it does. It does. I agree with that. Lawrence Williams says WBO have you guys in their ranking after not having him ranked for some years, then Bud versus you guys happens next. Well, man, you already know how that ranking bullshit goes. They'll throw his ass right in there, rank him number 9. And then he can still fight Crawford. I mean, that's
yeah. WBO gets down like that. They did it for Ruiz. They did it for Ortiz.
Yeah. They'll make that happen, Lawrence. You know how that goes. Third, what are Smoke's thoughts on Deontay's hit? I ain't getting into that twerking food.
Yeah, I am actually surprised at the amount of people who knew Deontay Wilder was twerking in the video and they still clicked the link. Like, damn, for real? That's what you guys want to see? Get the Deontay getting that thing in motion? You gonna follow it through the mall? All that?
No,
okay, guys.
because a lot of things is clickbait and it was just a picture. So you gotta click it. Somebody could put clickbait up there, Deontay Wilder twerking. So you gotta click it to see if it's clickbait or not. It's just intrigue, curiosity.
Nah, I ain't that curious.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. For content creators.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's material, nigga.
I get it. That's what it is. It's a thirst. Yeah, I got it. It's a thirst trap. It's a thirst trap.
I clicked it and recorded it because I do.
I thought it was a thirst. I thought it was a thirst trap, and yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, man, this fight makes the most sense. This fight is a fight that can happen behind closed doors. Like, this is the fight to make. Yordenis Ugas, Terence Crawford. It gives him validation at 147. If he can knock him out, it means a ton. You know what I mean? It's a fight that won't cost Bob Arum a ton of money. You know what I mean? All of that shit, bro. I think this is the fight that Bob and like Smoke says, Yordenis Ugas and his team need to even get on the phone. Like, let's make this happen. The Texan says, when I'm scrolling my feeds on YouTube and leave it on pause for a few seconds, the vid start playing. Yo, man, YouTube is going crazy, man. YouTube is going crazy. Do y'all have any other opponents that y'all see Terence Crawford fighting outside of these guys that would validate him? That's the question. At 147, who else could he fight that would even validate him, that at 147?
What up, D? Love the crown, New York Yankees. But what's the choices we got? We got Ugas.
Well, we already eliminated Porter, Thurman, Pacquiao. And I just say that Ugas is going to be the next fight. Danny getting ready to fight Spence, so that's not an option.
Take that off.
So
but even then, he didn't want it because remember when Bud offered him that shot, the motherfucker, I'm gonna fight Granados, $2 million less and no belt.
It wasn't even that. I put the video out about that, Charlie. You gotta check it out. Spence and Danny Garcia on the 25th of January, before Danny fought Granados and before Spence fought Shawn Porter, they already agreed in principle to fight each other before they had those two fights. So Crawford wasn't even in the picture.
Oh, I did see that video. But I'm just saying, I'm just talking about just in general. How the fuck you take it's not enough money and then you go fight Granados for no belt and less money?
Right. Because he knew he was going to be fighting Spence eventually.
Yeah, that could be it because he had that in the background.
Right, he had that in the bag already. Well, I'm gonna fight this nigga, so fuck Crawford. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I put that video up, like, and I wasn't even sure about it, but then it came out, was confirmed. I was like, man, this is what they did, bro. They never even planned not fighting them next. Like, they might have planned on fighting them, but he wanted in the plans to be the next fight because they was gonna get it in first before either of them fought Crawford, and they already agreed on it. So when he approached him before the Granados fight, Danny Garcia and his dad was like, man, fuck that. We got Spence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
That's why
Who else is there at 147 for him, though?
You got to the table, they didn't even entertain it because in the back of their mind, they already knew I ain't even going to bother with that. And that's why he turned it down so easy and didn't try to negotiate or anything. Because just like Umbaya said, why didn't he ask for $5 million, $6 million? Khan negotiated. Danny Garcia didn't even attempt to negotiate. Why? Well, this is why. He knew he was fighting Spence.
Yeah, no counter offer, no nothing.
Right. So there ain't no need to even talk to Bob. No need to call Bob back. Y'all take that $3 million and shove it up y'all ass because I'm going to fight Spence. You know what I'm saying?
Bias said Garcia versus Thurman. Right now, Garcia, he's not beating no top 147 pounder. You can cancel that shit. He's out there. He's out there for the bread. He's out there for the bread.
Right, but that would be a fight that they could market. But how would they pay for it? Because both of those dudes are going to cry for money.
Yeah, there's no. That would be right behind closed doors, and you're gonna fight for a flat fee, and I don't see that happening.
That might be true. Brian Harkins said, "Yeah, Brian." He said, "Crying Garcia will come up for the money." That might be true.
Yeah, because he on the fritz.
Yeah, but he'll move up and get his ass whooped. Because I don't see him beating nobody at 140, not right now. He'll move up and get his ass slapped. Regis will sleep him. I think even Hooker beats him.
Hooker's too goddamn. I don't even see Hooker. He's having trouble making 40 now.
Yeah. What is Hooker gonna do? But now, before we get into that, let's stick on
that motherfucker. His fat ass better lose weight and get that Regis smoke.
Hold on. I don't want to go to Hooker right now. That's a whole nother. Back to you guys.
That's a whole nother live.
You already know, IBT. Back to you guys and Crawford. Like, does anybody, can you come up with an idea of why this fight wouldn't happen? I got some ideas of why it wouldn't happen or what could prevent it from happening. I just want to get y'all ideas on it. Charles D., you just stepped in the building. What you think? What could prevent this fight from happening?
What, Ugas and Bud?
Crawford. Yeah, Ugas and Crawford.
Shit. High risk, low reward.
Bud ain't scared. It ain't no risk to Bud.
Oh, no. I'm not saying he ain't scared. I'm just saying I could see that happening. Just like you said, old fish eyes out here telling motherfucker wives' tales and shit. He fuck around and fight somebody else. Like, I'm not mad if he fights Ugas. That's a excellent. He's the dark horse in the division. Right. He's the only person that fought Porter that made that shit look easy. Porter, other than that, is a goddamn dog in the ring. He made that fight look easy. Besides, doing dumb shit, celebrating and all that other extra shit, but he made that fight look easy. If Bud could get him and beat him, especially if he can knock him out, shit. And they got a history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He lost the motherfucking Ugas.
Yeah.
Any other name? He's gonna. Any other name, they're gonna look at it and be like it's some bullshit. Like, you got Lipinus, he's a 40. Ennis, he's too green. Virgil, green. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of young boys.
He got Jamal James.
Yeah, but shit, he'll wash him.
Yeah, I mean, Bud beats him.
He washes him.
You guys beat Jamal James. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, yeah, high risk, low reward. IBT, what you think? Something to prevent the fight.
Yeah, if somehow they can get a better matchup in terms of someone who's more notable, has a bigger name, maybe. But the main thing is it depends on how much Al Heyman values Ugas, and I don't mean like as a fighter. I mean in the sense of, is he someone that he's willing to send over? Like, is he, good enough that he can win the belt, but not good enough to where he doesn't feel bad possibly having him lose, right? And I don't quite agree on him making Shawn Porter that fight look easy. I think it was competitive. The only person who I think the person who beat Shawn Porter most clearly was probably Kell Brook, but that fight was pretty uneventful compared to the Ugas one and all of other Shawn Porter's championship fights, to be honest. But Ugas to me is like the dark horse of the division. I think he can beat any of the top guys on any given day if things pan out well. But like you guys were mentioning earlier, he doesn't quite have that name. So I think the chances are he's more likely to be able to fight Crawford. Like I think he will be sent. But maybe if Heyman just doesn't feel it's the right time or they don't want to pay him the right money, that fight might not happen. But that's the one I'm hoping for, because this is the one I've been calling for a while. I think it's a good fight for both of them and where they're at in their careers. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No. Good. Well said, IBT.
I have a question.
Jamal James fighting DeLorme. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, you're right. That's right. So that eliminates Jamal James too. He is fighting DeLorme. Go ahead, Smoke.
I have a question. IBT, have you seen that that Porter Brook fight recently?
No, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's probably worth a rewatch. I don't think it's any more or less controversial on the second watch. It seemed like a big wrestling match. It kind of hurt your eyes to watch, but it's actually kind of worth a watch because it that was a lot closer. Like trying to score a Shawn Porter fight is just, to me, he's the worst guy to score a fight for. It's really just tough. Even unless he's getting knocked out, it's really hard to separate yourself from him.
Which he's never been knocked out, right? So the only reason I say it was more convincing is, I mean, using the scoring system, right? I think Brook won more clearly than anyone else has. But at the same, if you want to rate it as a fight, Brook didn't really fight him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is using the scoring criteria. I don't know. I went back and watched it again, and I didn't get all the way through it to be honest. But I had a different impression than the first time I watched it. Like I couldn't even do it, and I was doing it in slow mo too. It was just because anyway. But
he grabbed him and then he grabs him. That's the plan.
Yeah, it's the essence of a Shawn Porter fight for me. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, Cat said with no live gate, you guys isn't the name to be placed as a main event. Boxing is a business first, and unfortunately his fan base ain't that big, which is perfect. Actually, in this situation, Cat, his name not being that big because they can afford him, and people still want to see that fight. So that actually makes him fit this situation because shit, man. Thurman, Bob Arum got to pay. Porter, Bob Arum got to pay. Pacquiao, Bob Arum got to pay. Even Brook, with Brook, he got to pay more money than he got to pay you guys.
Yeah, but Brook can't make 147. I don't even want to. I don't even know why they threw his name out there.
And Brook ain't making 147. That's another thing. Well, Brook, the whole Brook Crawford talk has always been going, bro. You know what I mean? That's always been a thing. Like his name's been out there, but he's not coming back down to 147. Brook gonna stay at 154 and do what he can there. He might, get into the Texera fight and beat him.
That's his best bet because he ain't beat no one else.
Right.
Crawford is the actually biggest name that we can see Brook in there with, right? Like legitimately, we don't really see him in there with
for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, in order to pad the resume and take another loss, at least he's losing against guys who are, seen as either, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, or up and coming guys to watch, kind of thing. Unified champs.
Yeah, and kind of to your point, D, about him not being a big name and not being main event worthy, I would disagree. I feel like that's probably the best main event we've seen in a long time. I mean, we're getting prospects versus, champions versus journeymen in the divisions they don't even fight at as the main event for some of these cards. I don't think Crawford Ugas is a bad main event by any means.
No, I don't think so. Scott Brown said Ugas would beat the brakes off Brooks at 147. I don't know about beat the brakes off him, but I think he'll beat him, though. I think he'll beat him. Yeah.
Bomac has wanted that fight since they've entered the division.
Well, with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing. You know, that's what I'm saying, bro. I forgot all about that smoke. You're right. Bomac has wanted that fight. That's another thing, bro. Like, and Crawford ain't, like, I get the whole high risk, no reward, but I don't think that Bomac and Crawford looking at Ugas as high risk. They're just looking at him as another guy to beat up and put under his resume. I don't think they're looking at him as a high risk fight, bro.
At this point, yeah. From what they got to consider, because everybody keeps saying, "Who's he for? Who's he for?" Ugas is not a bad name at 47.
That's valid. That's definitely valid at 47. He gave
Spence
Porter a hell of a run. He gave Porter a hell of a run, and because he did that, that makes him valid. Because Porter went down easy to nobody that beat him, and
he also beat Katsu Figueroa's brother.
Right, that helped as well. That helped as well. So, but you would pay Crawford versus Porter over you guys? No. Bob ain't paying that. That's why we marked Porter off earlier, Cat. Hell no. Porter's gonna cost more than Ugas and Brook.
Is that question for us? Like, would we buy a pay-per-view for it, or is that Bob Arum? Because I don't think Crawford's fighting on pay-per-view, to be honest.
No, it's gonna be on free TV.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be on TV or Plus, right?
Yeah, unless they can get an undercard or some shit. If they can put some shit together, then they'll try their hand at it.
Even if they do put a decent undercard, I think at best it's on ESPN Plus. At best.
I mean, to be fair,
you think they learned their lesson after the fucking Crawford fight? That fucking card was fire.
Yeah, but they want this pandemic situation though, fam. They gotta get what they can get right now. It ain't gonna. They can't be.
Oh no. I agree with that, but I'm saying even when he had a fire card and it was on pay-per-view, he wasn't on a lockdown. That shit didn't do too good.
Oh right. Yeah.
We're talking about the prediction league, right? And the quality of cards. Like my position in the league this week was affected by me watching a bunch of tape on some Nicaraguan bums on a card that ultimately got canceled. So it actually burned my eyes out. It made me depressed about the state of boxing, and I couldn't even do tape on the other guys. So anyway, I think Porter Brook definitely no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the exact same thing. I just don't like the idea of any of these names that I like Ugas, Porter, Brook versus Crawford, all of those guys being main event, probably the best main event we will have seen up to this point. In fact, I can confidently say that. I think there will be more in the future that might be able to beat that. But at this point, what's the best fight in terms of main event that we've seen?
Donaire and Anui?
No. Main event during quarantine. Sorry.
During quarantine. What's shit? My man from the fucking was it Rave? Shit, what's his name? That fight was a fucking slugfest. It was slugfest, dog. Fucking was it Rave? Main event? Yeah, he was the main event. He was Mikey Garcia fighter.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Man, that fucking fight was popping.
Yeah. I forget the name, but that kind of
Ray
proves my
Vargas
point.
or Ray? What the fuck was his name? I know his first name was Ray. He got a loss, but he a champion, son. That fight was litty.
Yeah, shit, Ben's in the building. What's good with you, Jay Blues? What's up, Jay Blues? Yeah. So, Smoke, did you answer that? What do you think could prevent this fight? I don't think it did.
What could prevent which fight?
Crawford and Ugas.
No crowd. No crowd. Crawford said he don't want to. If there's no crowd, pay me more money. And Bob Arum is not known for paying more money. I don't think he's that's pretty much it. Like I don't see Ugas. I don't see Heyman. I think that's without Heyman can make money without actually putting on a fight. So, and possibly pick up a belt and have all four of them. It would just be the the circumstances that boxing finds itself in right now.
Hold on for a second. Kat, you got a channel, sis? That Ruth said you got 500 subs, right? Make a video. Yo,
She asked.
But
She asked
Crawford
a
did say he
question.
would. But Crawford did say he would fight behind closed doors. He comes from nothing. He also said he doesn't have no problem doing that shit.
yeah, I don't remember him saying. I was about to say I don't remember him saying that he wouldn't fight behind closed doors.
No, he just said you got to pay me more money.
Fight.
No, he just said you got to pay me more money. That's all. I didn't say he said he
Yeah,
would
but
do
when
it.
he
Just
said
got to
that,
pay me more money for it.
When he said you got to pay me more money, I heard him. That was concerning the bigger the marquee fights. I don't think he was talking about just like a non-marquee opponent.
No, he had his idea was that he likes to entertain the fans, right? Like he wants to fight in front of people. So if you're not going to fulfill his demand to fight in front of people, he wants more money.
Which I think is a little like, I guess I know he said that pretty early, but it's pretty ignorant to the situation. I don't imagine any fighter under, MMA or boxing is getting a pay raise during this,
right,
during the quarantine.
Or even some of them, like most of them, not even equivalent pay. They're gonna have to take a cut. The longer this thing lasts, the longer these guys, the more they're gonna have to accept. They're gonna have to take a cut.
Yeah, but Bud also said he's from Nebraska. Nobody is really checking for him. Like he said, he will fight behind closed doors. It don't even matter. Like that's what he comes from. Nobody really knows him.
I think Bud takes the fight. Me personally, I think Bud takes the fight. Jose, your brother's in the building. What's good, Jose?
Shit, you and me both.
But,
Bob is fulfilling them dates. You got a championship boxing on his network. You can tell he's just plugging in his contract, right? So Terence Crawford fills that, but Navarrete fighting that dude and Burchelt with no belts on the line, but he's still a champion. I don't even know if that counts. Bob is definitely he's working. He's putting in the work, but yeah, it's champions versus journeyman at this point, not really champions versus contenders.
Warrior 819 in the building. What's good, fam? He says Crawford don't really want that fight. Too busy cherry picking. Spence waiting on him. I hear you, Warrior 819. Both of those guys want to get it in. Crawford, my man Spence, that's my boy. He already told everybody, I'm going to fight Crawford before I leave 147. So, I repeat, Spence already said, I am going to fight Crawford before I leave 147. So you right, Warrior. Spence waiting on him. Nah, man, both of those guys won't fight each other, but that's a fight that's definitely going to require a gate, Warrior 819. That fight will not happen without a gate. Promoters know they won't have to pay the longer this goes on. That is a fact. That is a fact. And let's talk about that. The longer this, because I'm telling you guys, a lot of states, at least by what's being reported, and remember, people react to what's reported because so many people, have faith in the news reports. But by what's reported, there are different states, the numbers are increasing, right? Now, it could be because more tests are becoming available, so they're testing more people, so the numbers are increasing, but they're not putting that factor out in the media. The only thing they're putting out in the media is coronavirus cases reportedly have increased. Coronavirus cases are increasing. So they're putting that out in the media. See, it's called suggestive journalism. So they're just basically putting the idea out that more and more and more and more people are getting it. Not even mentioning that more and more and more and more tests are available. And in the beginning, they didn't even have enough tests available. So they couldn't get a clear count. But that's what's going on right now. And with all that being said, this layoff could be extended because of it, right? And then if it is extended, then what Brian Harkin is saying, promoters know they won't have to pay the longer this goes on. What you think, Charles D? What you think, IBT? Charles D?
Yeah, I think For me, the main worry about COVID in terms of sports is the longer it goes on, like you're saying, they're just going to be able to continue to kind of host these bum bashes or lesser fights. I feel like now they're kind of ramping up in quality, but especially earlier on, we were seeing prospects fight journeymen as main events. And as much as I like watching prospects and even mid-level boxing is entertaining to me, I don't think that's all I want to watch, right? I still want to see champions fight contenders. Even just champions fighting journeymen is acceptable to an extent. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't really see the demand being there. So it's kind of difficult, especially when you're seeing the numbers these ESPN cards are drawing in. But I know they're improving as the fights get better. So I'm just kind of hoping that we're able to get this whole coronavirus thing situated with, or at least settled, so that we can kind of introduce bigger sports and bigger competitions back to normality.
Yeah, to some form of normality. Cat said, who's cherry picking? Y'all need to come up with some better material. Nah, I'm just humoring Warrior 819, really. Crawford ain't cherry picking. You can't cherry pick if nobody won't step up to the plate. Francisco fighting that Australian dude for his belt that's going on this weekend. Yeah. Francisco is.
My bad, D. What you was saying?
Huh?
Nah, I missed that question. Baby mother's texting me.
Oh, let me go back to it. But IBT pretty much cleared it up. Let's move on.
All right, cool.
Yeah, he answered it. He said Crawford got to move to Heyman. Arum's using him. See, here's the thing, Warrior 819. Now, yeah, I'm a big Spence fan, but I was just really patronizing you on that last comment. Now, let's get one thing straight. Crawford moving to Heyman won't do a goddamn thing for him. Because, Warrior, if you're a Spence fan, then you must recall, while with Heyman, Spence waited 5 years before he even got
Manny
order fight. So what do you want Crawford to do in going into his mid-30s? Move to Heyman and wait 5 years to get a fight, which means he'll be 39 before he actually gets the fight. Going to Heyman is not the answer. And so all of you Spence fans need to cut that shit out. Like, that's the answer, because Spence was right there with Thurman. He was right there with Porter. He was right there with Dennis Garcia for 5 years. And he didn't get the fight. So just going over there is simply not the answer. So you can't just put that up. Like, that's Crawford's problem. Now, what everybody's problem is right now, Warrior 819, is COVID-19. Warrior 819. COVID-19 is the problem. That's the problem, fam. Okay.
Even if we didn't have this COVID
you have to
shit,
learn that Thurman was injured for 2 of those years, right?
Oh shit, he wasn't injured when Spence was first calling him out.
All right, so if you don't want to use Thurman here, let me give you a better one. Gary Russell Jr. versus Leo Santa Cruz. They waited a long time. Those two guys were calling each other out. They're in the same division, both champions at the same time. And not only did that fight take forever to make, it actually was never made, and it probably will never happen.
Exactly.
So this whole you can just sign over, that's not how it works.
Nope, because there's fighters on that side of the street that ain't fighting at all. How's it a false narrative, Smoke? They not fighting on the PBC side.
Not just Gary Russell Jr.
Gary wanted to, oh Jesus, Smoke.
Other examples of fights not happening, and we're not even gonna go into that because that's a whole nother live. So let's get off of that. Tank Nation said, when did Spence become your boy? Man, please. My boy, dog. I ain't never been a Bud Crawford fan. I like Bud. I like the way he boxed, but Spence been my dude. Just because I ain't all gung-ho over him like a lot of y'all Tank Nation, and I don't like Tank Davis, don't have nothing to do with Errol Spence, fam. Errol Spence, my dude. Yeah. But, yeah, Smoke. Listen, man. Cut it out. That's all I want to say about that. Just cut it out, dog. The longer this goes on, the promoters aren't making no real money. So that statement doesn't make sense. Yeah, but they can make more money if they pay less, Samuel. So the statement kind of does make sense. It's like the longer this goes on, they have to pay these boxers less. Yeah, they're going to make less, but they get to pay them even less. So, then they're gonna make their money, or at least somewhat recoup the losses, because they're not gonna make as much money as they used to make. That's for sure. But anyway, I don't see he's 34. Crawford's 33 or 34, guys. He's 30. Oh, Smoke.
He's 32.
32?
Oh, Spence?
Yeah.
I thought he was 30.
Crawford.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Crawford's 32 or 33. He's one of them motherfuckers.
He's 32, fam. I trust IDT. I don't feel like looking it up right now. Intangible boxing in the building. What's good? What's the best fight coming on this weekend, guys? Oh, we got fights tonight.
There's fights tonight. Yeah, there's Andrew Maloney versus
got
Joshua Franco.
Yeah, we got tonight, we got Thursday, and we got Saturday.
Yeah.
I think Burchell fights on Saturday. He gonna watch that motherfucker.
No. Bud wouldn't be as ranked as high if he wasn't with top rank. No, Bud wouldn't be ranked as high if he wasn't a fucking champion, fam. He came right to 147 and got a title.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's ranked high because he's a 3-division champion and former undisputed 140-pound champion, not because anything to do to top rank.
Exactly.
Yeah, Warrior. He said, I agree with the COVID-19. Yes, it is the problem. Smoke, where you go? I put you in.
Nah, I don't even see Smoke Icon up here no more. I think he fell off.
I think he probably had.
I put him in. Or maybe I didn't put him in. We'll come back in, Smoke. Raider, what's up with your Raider? Intangible boxer. He said, if two fighters really want to fight each other, the fight happens. True. The point where risk was off the table for Mayweather Pacquiao, and they wanted to pay that. They made it happen like that. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's money or something involved, but I agree with the sentiment that if two fighters want to fight each other, then it's going to happen. That's why Terence Crawford and Errol Spence is going to happen, because they want to fight each other. Despite what people think, they want to fight each other. Now, Lawrence Williams said, Charles D., if anyone ducked, it was you guys. He went down to WBC route, then got Porter. Nobody.
Oh, we was already chopping it up about that.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we addressed that already. I think L just responded. We still going back and forth, but in the chat.
Yeah, some decent fights on the night. Champ saying some decent fights on the night. Intangible
some good ones.
Little to none to do with matchmaking of May Pat. Quiet as kept. Probably. I mean, that's not a matchmaking fight. Like, fuck you don't have to matchmake that fight. You just got to make it happen. That's not a fight. I mean, like, how much matchmaking is involved in May Pat? Like, that fight just got to happen. You just got to conduct the business of that fight.
You just have to announce it and have it, and it sells itself.
Yeah, that fight you don't have to. Yeah, well, I don't know. That's just how I look at it. Maybe I could be looking in the wrong perspective or whatever. But anyway, guys, so Charles D. Smoke, you there? Is your technical difficulty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you good. All right. Well, Charles D., give me some closing thoughts, fam. I just wanted to talk about this fight. I see some reports about it, some articles about it, and I think this is going to be the next fight. But give me some closing thoughts. What do you think? Give me some ideas about the probability of this fight. Ugas Crawford, summarize it, clean it up for us.
I think Ugas is at the he's on paper, great fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, but I don't think they done trying to make that Manny shit happen though. They ain't gonna give up on that yet. But this is the next best fight if we can get it at 47. Because everyone's looking at what's the next welterweight big fight? It would be considered Spence Garcia, whenever the fuck that happens.
Spence Garcia or Pacquiao versus insert welterweight, right?
Insert yeah, well, we don't know how that's going to work. So I don't think Crawford's giving up on that Pac fight because he wants that fight, also unification. But I'm not mad at if he fights Ugas at all.
Yeah.
You're on mute, D.
Nah, he knows he's on mute. He's
Yeah,
on talking to somebody. Yeah, he's talking.
To my daughter, my 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Iceman in the comments says Pacquiao moves to 160, fights Triple G.
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Shit. You know what? You can't say it won't happen because shit, they fuck around and meet at a catch weight on if the price is right.
Triple G not coming down, bro. Triple G not coming down. He's too old. And Pacquiao is not gonna go up and fight no fucking Triple G, bro. That shit
Like I said, if the money is right. Okay, Triple G was ready to come down to what the fuck he wanted to come down to meet meet Floyd at 154, 155, some weird shit. Money to make these motherfuckers jump out the window.
Yeah, that's a fact. Chet Collins, appreciate the super chat. He says Loma versus Tio too soon for Tio. Could be.
Listen, we're gonna stop about that shit. And D, I'm mad they backed you down.
No, I'm not gonna say this, Chet. It could be too soon, but Teofimo will potentially go on there and knock Lomachenko out. And then, people
nigga, I'm 10 toes down. My nigga 10 toes down, D. T.O. is gonna bring it back to the town. Don't let them sway you, nigga. We was on the same page, man. I see you teetering this shit, man.
I've actually been swayed because I had Loma. I was edging Loma to win that fight when they, when I was like, man, Loma gonna edge that fight. I've been swayed by Teofimo film study and then some other things. I've been swayed for my boy.
I can tell you some other things too, man. Look at a side-by-side picture of him with him and fucking Triple G, and then look at that man's speed. He's not faster than fucking Loma, but he's fast. That boy got fast hands and he got heavy hands. He gonna walk Loma's gonna walk himself into some shit. Let's just put it like that. Because he overmoves.
You know what, Warrior? That's actually true. He said right now Crawford's opponents are there to lose. That's actually true. But here's the thing, though. Ain't nobody beating him but Spence. So if you think about it, everybody they put in there is what, Warrior? 819? But they're to lose. Because I don't see anybody at 147 beating Crawford besides Errol Spence. So anybody they put in the ring with him is there to lose.
Yeah, I said the same thing if Spence didn't have that car accident. It would have been close, but I didn't favor them.
Put in the ring, they dare to lose. But IBT, give me some closing thoughts. This Ugas Crawford situation.
I hope the fight happens. I think it'd be a good fight. I think this fight is on track to be made, and if it doesn't get made, I think it's if Kell Brook can make 147. But I just think this one's the most likely, and it's the best quality fight. In combination with that, I think the styles are going to be interesting. There will probably be lulls in the action, but the parts where they do let their hands go will be entertaining. I just want the fight to happen, man.
Facts. Get this smoke. Give me some closing thoughts. What do you think this whole Ugas Crawford situation?
I would be there. That would be a fight party, right? I would love to see it. The Ugas should definitely do what he needs to do to make it happen, and I think the team Crawford is down for it. So it's really just about the circumstance. I think it's good business all around.
Yeah, and I agree, man. I think it's good business. I think that they need to make this fight happen for so many reasons. Concerning Terence Crawford anyway. They need to make this fight happen. But, since everybody brought it up, I just thought that I'll let y'all know. Teofimo, the takeover. And don't you forget it. But anyway.
You goddamn right, D. Talk your shit.
Damn right. The takeover.
You goddamn right. The takeover starts now. Loma's the first one. All right?
It's happening. It's happening.
I said it.
And smoke Lomachenko is over with. Now, here's how it goes, guys. I don't see any of these other fights happening. Right? Keith Thurman, in my opinion, he's going to want too much money. Shawn Porter and Crawford, they just simply don't want to fight each other. Last resort type deal. So we're not going to see that fight happen.
What you mean? Thurman Crawford?
Yeah. Kell
Oh,
Brook,
okay.
Kell Brook coming down to 147 is unrealistic. I doubt that Kell Brook is going to come down to 147. Even if he did, I believe he would be too drained to be too competitive for Terence Crawford. As far as Keith Thurman goes, Keith one-time Thurman is going to want too much money. And Bob Arum's not going to pay that kind of money right now. So getting a Keith Thurman fight next for Terence Crawford, I very seriously doubt we get that Keith Thurman fight. And this leaves me to Yordenis Ugas. And that's why I wanted to have today's discussion and talk about this, kind of talk about the other guys and their probability of fighting Crawford if we could get that fight next. And it's a slim possibility for the other guys that's on the list that Bob Arum gave us. Pacquiao, yeah, they're still in discussions about that fight. It's not dead. It's not out of the water. But Bob Arum said some significant things in making that fight that has to happen. And one of his requirements were fans in the stand. And that knocks out the Pacquiao fight being next for me, because they may negotiate the fight. They may even make a deal on the fight. But on the fine line of that contract is going to be once the fans are in the stands. So next in line, Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas is not going to cost Bob Arum an arm and a leg. Yordenis Ugas will fight Terence Crawford behind closed doors. Yordenis Ugas offers Terence Crawford validation at 147 because he's constantly questioned about all of his opponents at 147. So he satisfies that as well. And for Yordenis Ugas, it's a shot at the title. This fight makes the most sense. And, that's why we have these discussions, so we can get down to the brass tacks of things. And just before I leave, Teofimo Lopez, the motherfucking takeover. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.
Goddamn. You goddamn right, D.
Yeah, man. Teofimo, dog.